This week on JW Fusion.
This week, we're going to be talking about an affordable legal service that is a necessity in today's society.
Stay tuned.
Don't go away. This week on JW Fusion. Welcome to this week's show, JW Fusion. We have an amazing program this week. We have an awesome guest, which I'm really excited about. I heard this lady speak, babe, and she had me riveted.
This is a powerful message. This is information that most people may have heard about, but they don't know about it. So today we're going to know about it.
Let me tell you what. I'd heard the term legal shield for years. It used to be called prepaid legal, but this legal shield it's like prepaid legal on steroids. The services that are available are remarkable. So, baby, introduce our awesome guest.
We got this woman who knows her stuff.
Yes, she does.
They're incredible. They're amazing. They're very busy. Miss Velveeta Young. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. It's important that we have this conversation. Yeah. So, babe, what so much to, Lord.
Well, the one thing we want to hit on definitely is the many benefits of legal shield. Because of the society we live in.
Very litigious society.
Yeah, everybody wants to sue everybody. And there are other things we don't even think about.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the mic over to Velveeta to talk about legal shield, how you got into it, and your why. Our show likes to focus on the why because that's the heartbeat that keeps you going when you get discouraged. That why will keep you going. So just talk about that. Open that up for us.
Well, I found out about Legal Shield when I was a postal supervisor. We had it as an employee benefit. And I actually had to use it when my mom passed away because my dad passed first and left a lot of insurance money. And her parents and her 8 brothers and sisters were going after the money. And trying to push me and my brother away. And so I had to use the services then. Walked away from the postal service, opened up a consignment shop, and it wasn't doing too well. And a friend walked in and said, hey, look at this. And I looked at it because I had never looked at the business opportunity before, just the services. Looked at the business opportunity, 3 months later, closed the consignment shop, and been doing it ever since for the past 10 years.
Wow. 10 years.
10 years.
That means that you believe in this.
Wholeheartedly. I think every American needs Legal Shield.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of the circumstance you were talking about. A lot of people have that. They don't have things in place before passing, or people are fighting over the money.
Exactly.
And thankfully, you had that resource because I always say, you're going through the grieving process already, so you're not thinking straight. That allowed someone to come in and help you with what you needed, the next steps.
Exactly.
The
legal way.
The legal way, right.
Because you can make decisions, but if it's not legal, that opens the door to even bigger problems.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
you got
that was a big help.
And you have somebody that's really working for you.
They're on your side.
Because I have had experiences with attorneys that have taken my money and did not perform the way they were supposed to. Then they want to take you to court to sue you for the fees. And they didn't do anything. And a lot of people, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it because it's my show. A lot of people call lawyers liars.
Yeah.
And a lot of them do lie.
Yeah.
It's the truth. So
legally.
you need legally. And so you do need somebody that's going to stick up for you and speak on your behalf, and they're bound to represent you because they're tied into a legal support system that is honor bound, and they're obviously participating in it because they believe in the idea or the structure or the model of this legal assistance.
Well, let's talk about that. Like, when you say Legal Shield, like I've heard the name for years and never thought to figure out what it meant. When you hear Legal Shield, something like, I'm good, I don't need a lawyer for anything. Why would your everyday person say, okay, well, let me have this as a resource just in case?
Well, think about it like this. We all make decisions every single day. How much better can your decision be if you're able to run it past an attorney? You get unlimited legal consultation. So I don't care what's going on, who it's going on with, or where it's going on at. Something's going on that you're not sure about. Just pick up the phone and call a provider law firm and speak to an attorney that specializes in that area.
Wow. So is it limited? Like only
It's unlimited legal advice.
Wow.
So you can call 50 times a day. You can call 5 times a day.
That's what I would do.
We don't
like, wait, I got one more question.
right.
Yeah.
It's designed to help you make the best decisions for your life.
Wow.
And a lot of times we don't think that the decisions are legal that we're doing, but we're not thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And so just to being able to pick up the phone and say, hey, my neighbor's dog keeps coming over my yard, or like in my case, my neighbor planted a tree, and the tree grows over toward my front yard.
Wow.
It gets so big, you can't even see my front door.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's a problem.
It is.
And I constantly went to him, so he told me, well, get the tree cut down. Well, do you know how much it costs to get trees cut down?
So
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's not my problem. This is your problem.
This is your tree.
Yeah.
We kept going back and forth, back and forth. I finally called the attorneys. They wrote him a letter, told them that's your tree. You're responsible for it, or she can have it cut down or shaved off. So you can imagine a half-shaved tree.
What it looks like. It looks
Exactly.
horrible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I did that to a neighbor once.
Really?
He had a tree.
you?
He had a tree that was hanging over. It was an evergreen pine tree. All right, now evergreens, in case you don't know, spiders love the sap that the pine trees secrete.
Oh, jeez.
So spiders love it. So in the summer, the side of your house is just covered with webs.
Oh, wow.
Just spiders everywhere. So what I did was I had that thing shaved, and it looked like half of Mr. T's head.
Funny.
This side was I'm serious. I had a guy come out, and Cody from Cody Tree Service, he came out and shaved that thing down.
Thanks, Cody.
And got that thing off the house, and we stopped having those spider problems.
Okay.
But people, they said, well, go ahead and do it. They figure you won't.
Right.
Right.
But that's a good example.
I mean, little things like car accidents, when you have to go through insurance, and insurance don't really want to help you.
Exactly.
They have their own set of people.
Exactly.
You have that. I mean, I'm just trying to think of instances where someone's like, well, I don't own a home. I mean, rental.
There's so
The
many,
lease,
babe.
things
There's
like
so
that.
many different, so many benefits to it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Velveeta, give us some of your stories.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So the letters and phone calls, after the attorneys speak to you and go look up the law, if the situation is not resolved, they'll write a letter or make a phone call for you on your behalf. In my case, a couple of years ago, I took my very first 3-week vacation. I went to
3
Mardi
weeks.
Gras for a week, and then I
Nice.
went to Vegas for a week, and then I left Vegas on a Greyhound bus going to Oklahoma City, which was a 12-hour ride. About 3 hours into the ride, my seat came loose. So every time the bus driver hit the accelerator, I was going forward.
Oh,
Every time he hit the brakes, I was going backwards. It was very uncomfortable. So we pulled over for a break. I just walked up to the gentleman and said, hey, next time you get this bus to a yard, had him tighten the screws on the seat. He, in turn, became very belligerent, started cussing at me, balled up his fist, and was advancing on me.
Wow. The bus driver.
The bus driver.
Wow.
What we doing?
Wow.
There wasn't anywhere else for me to go. The entire bus was filled. So I just said, okay. I went and got back in my seat, finished my trip, came home, picked up the phone, called my lawyer. My lawyer said, Ms. Young, you have been treated unfairly. Okay, now what? He said, well, I could write a letter on your behalf to Greyhound. Okay, how am I going to know what the letter says? He said, well, before I mail it, I'll email you a copy. You can make any corrections you need to make, and then when you give me the okay, I'll mail it.
Wow.
Didn't cost me anything. I said, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, Greyhound reimbursed me the money that I had spent for that ticket.
Oh, wow.
What do we normally do? We just say, forget about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were just mad. We're
No.
telling everybody about it.
Typically, you know what we do?
What?
Typically, what a lot of people do is they cuss, they fuss, they how to hit you in the mouth. I should do that. They wind up getting arrested because they've threatened somebody. You know, and none of that's
Or everyone, when you
effective.
get home, has to hear the story.
Yeah,
Right.
and every time you talk about it, you get mad all over again. Run your blood pressure up.
Yeah.
You know, you're frustrated. You're angry. You went on a trip that this has ruined. You know, as opposed to that. I mean, now you've done something effective.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't know what would happen. You just said, well, let me see.
Exactly.
And just because you had that resource to tap into.
Exactly.
You get, at the very least, it should have been more like he should have been fired.
Well, he didn't get fired, but he did get written up.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
The attorneys wrote the letters up to the point where they felt like they had to do something
Good.
toward him as well.
Okay.
So he did get written up, and then I got my money back.
So it's
Okay,
amazing how
okay.
people move when an attorney gets in.
Oh,
Exactly.
everything's different
Yeah.
when the attorney
Yes.
shows up.
Yes.
So right now, at this point, give out your website, your phone number, or the way to get in touch with you right now, so people who may come in and just listen for a few minutes and cut out, they'll hear your information, how to reach you.
The best way to reach me is through my cell phone, 708-606-2379. Again, that's 708-606-2379. And let's talk about the next area of coverage, because we all sign contracts.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're sitting across from me and you have what I want, I'm going to sign an initial till the pen go out.
Yeah.
We haven't read anything.
Right.
We didn't read the big print, the little print. And so another part of the service is we give you the ability to be like the rich. They don't sign anything without their attorneys reviewing it.
Okay.
And it's not, most of them have been to school, MBA, the whole 9 yards,
but
they don't exactly. And so they don't sign anything.
Yeah.
So any contract or document that's placed before you, you can send that to the law firm, and an attorney that specializes in that area will review it.
Okay.
Now, our attorneys never tell you what to do, but they may say add something in or take something out. For example, one of my seniors lives in a senior home. They gave her new lease. She said, Velveeta, I'm just not comfortable with this because some friends of mine just got put out or had some money added to their bill because they didn't read the lease. So she sent the lease to the law firm. They reviewed it, and there was a section in there that said that if she moved, that she would have to pay prorated rate to the company.
Okay.
She didn't think she wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And so the attorney gave her the language to take back to them, and they took it out. So now, if she chooses to move, thinking about it, she's like 74.
Yeah.
Right.
If she chooses to move, she doesn't have to worry about coming up with excess money that she doesn't have.
Yeah.
And so it's just amazing how people use these services once you understand it.
Yeah.
So it's basically what I hear you saying is that oftentimes in a contractual situation, that the person on the other side of the table is open to different language, but you don't know how to present the language.
99% of the people, like you said, okay, I need a place to stay. I need to rent this car.
Right.
Let me just sign it.
So
wow.
So okay, buying an automobile.
Oh, that's wonderful. We love that.
Oh, I want to hear
this. Because every automobile contract has a line item that says that they call it a process fee. All it is a car wash.
What?
It's about $300 over the life of that contract. And so our attorneys will have them take that out.
I go wash the car myself.
Exactly.
For $5.
But if I just bought it, why I got to wash it anyway?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So it helps when you're looking at contracts, again, because we don't read the big print, and we definitely are not reading the small print.
I mean, it's legalese, and you're just like, you get confused after you read. You're trying to, even if you try, because I've tried, it's like, I don't know what this just said.
So let me ask this. Go back to buying the car. How would that work? Would you, how do you get the contract to your attorney?
So anytime that you're about to send a contract in, you know that you're going to buy a car.
Yes.
You would simply call the law firm ahead of time and let the attorney know, I'm from 4 to 6, I'm going to be looking for a car, and I'll be at the dealership. So that the attorney is sitting by the fax machine when it comes through.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And can you imagine the salesperson? If you're saying okay, hold on, let me have my attorney.
I'm thinking about how many cars I bought.
Yeah.
How many $300 car washes I paid for.
Yeah. She said every, didn't she? She said every contract.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yes.
Let's talk about the simpler things. Like I rent an apartment. I've been here for years. I'm not in the mood for a car. Someone had the example of their son being pulled over by the police. Yeah. And had that, let me call my attorney. Let's talk about stuff that can happen on a day-to-day
basis.
Yeah.
Well, that actually happened with my youngest son when he bought his first car. He was driving around the neighborhood. The police pulled him over, and the police said, give us permission to search the car. And he said, well, I'm really not comfortable with it. My friends just got out the back seat. I don't know if they dropped something. I don't know if they left something. And I don't know what you're looking for, officer.
Right.
And the officer says, okay, now you're resisting arrest. He says, what does that mean? He says, number one, I'm calling for backup because you're going to jail. And number two, I'm calling for a tow truck because we're taking your car. Ooh. My son says, wow, officer, I just want you to know that I'm reaching for my cell phone. The cop looks at him and said, "Who are you about to call?" He says, "I'm about to call my attorney." Yes. The cop looks at him, looks at his watch, says, "Kid, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday night. No attorney is going to call you back. You're going to jail, and we're taking the car." My son said, "Officer, I wasn't trying to tell you how to do your job. I was just letting you know I'm invoking my legal rights." See, we all have legal rights, but if we don't know how to invoke them, it's like we don't have them. Right. And so the officer goes back to his car. He does call for backup. He does call for a tow truck. They come on the scene. And let me help you with, I can't just say Chicago cops, but cops, once others are called out, to not take that child or that person to jail, it's like a big fat face.
Yeah,
you know,
your ego
because
is,
now, you called us out here, and now you're not gonna take him to jail. And so he comes out the car, he knocks on the window and tells my son, "Step out of the car so I can arrest you." My son rolled the window down, handed him his phone, and said, "My attorney would like to talk to you." And to this day, we don't know what the attorney told the cop. We know the cop listened, hung up the phone, threw it at my son, and said, "Get off the streets. Don't let me see you out here the rest of this weekend." It was a Friday. So that meant that he would, whatever jail he would have been taken to,
until like Monday, right?
No, he would have went down to 26 in California. That is not the place we want our kids to be.
For nothing.
For nothing.
Okay.
Yes.
So
but that happens every
single day.
So what I'm hearing is not only is Legal Shield providing us with services, but it's important that we educate our children about their legal rights.
Exactly.
And how to invoke your legal rights, because a lot of times we know, I've seen it in video footage where, you know, I don't have to allow you to search my car, but
that makes them angry sometimes.
But you don't know how to legally invoke that, and you don't have anyone to back that up.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just you saying what you've heard or you saw on the internet. You saw, hey, you don't have to get out of the car, you don't have to do this or that. But if you don't have legal backup, you better cooperate with that officer, because you don't know what's happened in the area. You don't know what somebody could have just shot somebody, and they're in a car looks just like your car, and they look like you. So in that situation, you have to acquiesce to that, whatever that officer is asking you to do.
Pretty much.
If you have legal support, a legal representative that can step in for you and say, "Hey, officer, my attorney would like to speak with you," what are you going to do?
That story alone made me like, where's the paper? Because we have an 18-year-old. You know, we have sons, and we know a lot of times they are the target of just being pulled over randomly.
Exactly.
And when I heard that, I was like, okay. I called Matthew. I'm like, I need you home so you understand some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, we told him to come
will
back.
be I mean, it's not if you, it's when you're pulled over.
And it's not just young black men. About 3 months ago, 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm driving south on Halsted. I'm at the light on 95th Street, and the light turns green. I pull off, but I noticed the other lane of traffic was just standing there. And I'm like, well, it was a police car, and he was just sitting there. And I'm like, But I have somewhere to go, so I'm going where I'm going. I know you're behind me, so I'm doing the speed limit. I get to the corner. I put on my turn signal. I turn. I go down 2 blocks, and I notice that they turn. Where are they going? I go down 2 more blocks, put on my other turn signal. I turn. When I made the second turn, they cut the lights on.
That's the worst feeling, knowing that they're following
it's
you.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So didn't even know that it was 2 cops in the car. All I noticed is the one cop got out and immediately put his hand on his gun.
No. That's scary.
Where are you going at 9 o'clock in the morning? There's no loud music. My hair is fixed. I'm looking professional.
Right.
Where are you going with your hand on your gun? And that was the first thing I said to him.
Yeah.
Well, the cop on the other side on my passenger door didn't like my tone.
Of course not.
So he knocks on the window to let me know it's 2 of us, and my hand is on my gun too.
That's so scary. And you're by yourself.
I'm by myself. The entire street is just cleared. I'm like, okay. Even though I have Legal Shield, I kid you not, my heart started racing.
Yeah.
My hands started sweating, because what is about to happen here?
Yeah, because you may not get to the point of getting the phone.
Well, the phone was right here, but I don't want to move now because
no sudden moves.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I just see
They're
that
ready.
Your hands are
Yeah.
on your guns. And so the cop comes up to the car and he says, "So what's Legal Shield?" Now I'm stunned.
Wait, what?
Are you serious? We were just sitting still at the light. You could have took a picture with your phone and called me when neither one of us were driving. I am not a happy camper now. And so when I'm not happy, people know it. So this cop over here on the passenger side, he was still getting irritated because my tone, my body language, everything changed because now you're clearly on some BS. I'm not the one.
Wait a minute. So was it on your card?
It's on my card.
Okay.
She has
It's
a
on my
sticker.
card.
She has a sticker on her card. Placard.
Wow.
And so he says, "Well, can I have your license and registration?" No, you can't. You cannot have anything until you tell me why you stopped me. This car, this cop over here is steadily hitting on my window.
Jesus.
Like, you need to shut up. I don't need. Look, I am an adult. I may look small in stature.
I was
but
just
I'm
about to say,
an
I hope you
adult.
didn't mind me saying, but you're small, so
Right.
that makes
Yeah.
it worse.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was like, well, we're cops, we're in blue, and we have guns, and we can do or say whatever we want to say. That's not the answer, officer. I'm not who you think I am. But yes, Legal Shield does work. And at that point, I did pick up my phone. And so he said, "Why are you picking up your phone?" I said, "Because if this is about to go sideways, I'm finna get some help."
Good for you.
Oh, well, I think we got Legal Shield. You do. It's an employee benefit. Call HR and don't ever stop another Legal Shield person because of a sign on their car. I rolled up my window, started my car, and I pulled off.
Whoa.
Who else would do that?
Yeah.
You wouldn't know to do that. You wouldn't know that it was your right.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that when the police pull you over, the first thing out of their mouth should be why they stopped you.
Right. And most of the time it isn't.
And no, it's
Well,
not.
License and registration.
I mean,
You're like, well, wait,
But you
a
know
minute,
what? It used to be when an officer stopped you, they said, you ran that stop sign back there. Your tail lights out.
Yeah.
You were speeding. You were this or you were that.
I don't think I've ever gotten that first.
I have. When they pull me over, they'll say, "Yeah, you ran that stop sign back there. Did you see that stop sign?" They always tell me first what I did, but that's been my experience.
Yeah.
I have heard other
Yeah,
experiences.
mine has been. I got pulled over up north, driving a boyfriend's. He had a real sleek sports car.
Right.
And I'm up north, and he
Okay.
pulled me over, asked for my stuff, and I'm by myself at night. I just had, here, what else you need?
Right.
He looked at it. He went back. He came back. He goes, "Okay, have a nice evening." He never said
Never
why he
said.
stopped me.
That's happening more and more because we
But you're
don't know our
scared, so you're
rights.
like, I just need to
Well,
see tomorrow.
It's a climate. It's a climate. I remember I told you about atmospheres create climates, and climates create culture, and culture creates behavior. Behavior creates destiny, and destiny creates where you're headed. And so
Yeah.
what has happened, police officers no longer are all demonstrating the culture of to protect and serve.
Right.
Their culture now is more so to enforce and intimidate.
And now, just want to, so people, the people getting swollen in their chest right now, getting an attitude. There are some very good police officers
There
out
are.
there. And
There
I've
are.
had
And-
experience with some
and
very
I will-
good ones who are there to do their job.
Listen, I will say this. I told you my experience. I remembered it yesterday on my way to my C-band meet, our writers group meeting. Back when I was about 23 years old, I'm driving down 87th Street near Vincennes, and I'm going pretty good clip. By the time I get to 87th Street, there are about 4 or 5 squad cars that have blocked off the street. All I see is spotlights. I can't even go through. I mean, they got it blocked like a roadblock.
Like
Right.
the movies.
Like in the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and all I can see is lights. And I'm imagining behind those lights are muzzles
Are guns.
pointed at me.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
it's about 2:00 in the morning. There was no cars on the street, just me.
Wow.
On that big street.
Right.
87th Street's a big street
Right.
in Chicago. So I heard someone say, "Get out of the car."
Oh, Lord.
So I got out of the car. This was back in 1970. It was the summer of 1976. I got out of the car, and so one of the officers came up, got my license, and they looked at me and said, "Okay, you can go." There was somebody that shot somebody over here, and we saw your car flying down this back street over here, and we thought it was you, but you're not the person we're looking for. So they let me go.
Wow.
Now,
Thank God.
today, I probably would have got shot.
Yeah.
If I did anything, it's a good possibility. Somebody in that cloud of lights, I could have possibly
Would have gotten
shot.
nervous and just, yeah.
But that being said, I have been blessed with the police officers I've encountered. Even when I did something really stupid when I was in my 20s, they were always. There was always one that was a cooler head. The other one wanted to do you harm, but the other
Right.
one is cooler. Nowadays, it seems that everybody has that edge.
Yeah, understandably. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I get
but
it
that
too.
your job is to serve and protect.
Yeah, but my point is the benefit of what Velveeta is talking about with Legal Shield, which is why we signed up as soon as as I left the presentation. I got all the information. I ran home like a kid come home from school.
You did.
Look what I found. Look what I found.
Hey, we gonna do this. Oh, yeah.
Look what I found. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's totally wicked. We gotta get this.
Yeah.
And by Thursday we had it. We signed up for it, as well as the business package.
Okay.
And so I wanted to say, because I'm in sales and I know people are quick to say no, or they don't think they need. You don't know what you need until you need it.
Exactly.
Right.
But at least give you that phone call so you can understand if you're going to say no, be empowered, be educated, get the knowledge of what you're saying no to. I can't imagine someone who would hear, like I said, I've heard of it, but when we heard the benefits, then we would have been crazy to not have said yes to it.
There are crazy people in the world. Just Friday, I was talking to a young lady that knew she needed a will, and I did the presentation for her, and she said, "Oh, well, we're going to use another attorney." I said, "Okay, what kind of attorney?" She said, "The guy that did we just bought a house, so the guy that he closed our house.
That's
we're going to use him."
A real estate attorney?
Before I could stop myself, I said, "Let me just help you. You telling me that you'd rather pay a real estate attorney to do your estate planning than to pay $25 and get it, and it's included with your membership, and it's going to cover you and your husband?" She said, "Yeah, that's what I'm telling you."
Okay.
I said, "Okay, well, could you let me know how much he charges you for that? Because wills are not cheap. And if it's not in my area, I'm going to have to charge you more because I got to go do some research."
Exactly.
Yeah.
So some people, you can't fix stupid.
Yeah.
You just can't fix stupid.
You really can't.
And that's why I repeated it back to her, because a lot of times we say stuff.
Yeah, and you say that
real
do sound
fast.
dumb, what you did.
Right, so let me help you. Let me repeat what you just said so you can see how it sounds.
Yeah.
And she still said, "Well, we're committed to helping this guy." The other problem that I see is
say your number one more time before we
708-606-2379, 708-606-2379.
That's Velveeta Young.
Yes.
With Legal Shield.
get the information. Jesus, just get the information.
Yes. The other problem we see, though, is that we get so stuck in our own beliefs. Let me give you an example. So this guy called. He just got recently married. He wanted to make sure that he left everything to his new wife. And so we're sitting down talking, and we both worked at the post office. And I said, "What about your life insurance with the post office?" He said, I think we're not thinking. Because
you have to know.
I know that the first wife was on as the beneficiary.
Velveeta, hold on right there. Hold that thought. We're going to pick this up in part 2 of this discussion on Legal Shield. So it'll be on part 2. So just hold on. We'll be back shortly.
You're listening to JW Fusion with your hosts, James and Wendy B.
And we're back with part 2 of our episode on Legal Shield, the benefits, the necessity of it, the insanity if you don't have legal representation in these
At your
violent
fingertips.
times.
At your fingertips, because you can get it, but they need a retainer. They need.
There's an app for forms, for legal forms.
Yeah.
But anyway, pick up on the will thing where you left off.
Okay, so the young man had just got married to his new wife. We were sitting down doing this will, and I reminded him that his life insurance from the previous job had his first wife as the beneficiary. So he sits there for a minute, and he said, well, you know, my two wives, my first one and my second one, they get along. I said, that's wonderful.
Right.
But
Legally,
when you die, they may not.
Exactly.
So let's just go call OPM.
They
and get
won't.
the
I can
form.
guarantee you they won't.
Of course they're not. Call OPM and get the form. And so he said, okay, that's a good point. I'll do that. And so then he kept talking and he said, well, you know, my father left us property down in Mississippi. I said, wonderful. What are you going to do about that property? He said, well, it's 5 of us children, and there's 2 brother-in-laws. We own half, and my aunt owns half. My aunt is 94. So, okay. The property is next to another set of property owned by a white man that has built cabins on his property, and many of the stars go there to hunt. I said, okay, so why wouldn't y'all sell that property to him?
Yeah.
And he says, well, we have a house on the property, and we have a shack. Okay, who lives in the house? Nobody.
What?
Who lives in the shack? My brother. I said, this is not making sense to me. He said, well, when the family wants to hunt, they go down there. Okay.
What?
Who pays the taxes for the property? He said, me and my brother do. Okay. Who does the upkeep on the house? He said, I normally go down there once a year and I paint. So you have a house that's empty that nobody's using. You have all this land that nobody's using. Why can't you sell it? He said, well, come on, let's go over to my sister's house and you can explain it to her. We walk in, I share the same information with the sister, and the sister says, well, we have 2 nephews that like to go down there and hunt. Wonderful. How many times have they paid taxes? She said they never pay taxes. I said, how many times have they went down there and put a coat of paint on the building? She said they never do that. I said, so why would you hold property? Because your dad left it for you all to have a better life, not your children. So why would y'all hold this property? You all are in your 70s and 80s.
Oh, wow.
So you getting too old to get in the truck and ride down to Mississippi.
Anything.
Why not sell the property to the man next door
Who's
and get some
using it?
money?
Yeah.
Would not.
It's
Just
a
couldn't even
sentimental
fathom
thing.
it. For so long, we've had this property in the family. And then I had a will workshop, and a young man stood up and said, I have a trust. I don't have a will. I said, okay, let me ask you something. What's in the trust? He said, my home and some property. I said, so let me help you. Our children today are going to do better than we are doing. Just like we're doing
That's
better
the
than
goal.
our parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the idea of me doing better than my parents and then me having to come back to the family home is not likely.
Right.
So you're leaving them property for what? They don't want the house.
Yeah.
They don't want the stuff in the house.
Right.
You got a little TV. They got giant TVs.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
really nothing here that I want. So you really, when we're talking about wills,
And we're leaving it up to them when we pass
Exactly.
to figure it out, to sell everything.
And what normally happens is you normally pay taxes on a piece of property that you don't do anything with. And so now my talk to people that say, well, I have property somewhere, is that you need to stipulate in the will that they have to do something with the property. Build a playground. I don't care what you do, but just to say, I'm going to leave you this property. And you
they're
do
sitting there like,
Right.
Yeah,
we don't want it.
People don't understand how real estate works. That real estate is designed to be leveraged.
Yes.
When you purchased it, you leverage it. When you own it, you leverage it. When you get rid of it, you leverage it. What that means is you use the property to accomplish something.
Yes.
Either to support borrow against it for a business, something that's going to generate income. So it becomes an asset.
Yes.
If it's not generating an income, that piece of property,
It's
no
not
matter
an
where
asset.
it is, it's a liability because you're paying taxes on something that's not bringing you any benefit. You're not living on it. You can't ride it.
Right.
You're not growing tomatoes on it. It's just sitting there, and you say, "Yeah, I got land." I hear people say it all the time. I got
All the
land. I got land. We got land down in so and so, so and so. We got 50 acres. Well, how much money you making off of it?
Right.
Right.
What is it bringing in?
Exactly.
Well, nothing right now. We just own it. It's been in the family for years. but it's not benefiting you. And
Exactly.
People live in I say this all the time, Velveeta, people tend to want to live in a past, present reality. And what that means is they're taking things from their past, events, good things, bad things, and they bring them into their present. And what they're doing is they're holding on to those old feelings, the old ties that they had to people who have gone on. You can't live life looking backwards.
Or property that's not doing them any good.
Exactly.
This is my grandfather's property, and we've had it in the family for generations.
Right.
But right now, what you're not doing anything with.
And you said
so what benefit? How are you giving homage to your grandfather who owned this?
Because he bought the property
for a reason.
See, back then, owning property meant he could have borrowed money. He could have done any number of things that you don't know about. And now you got to just sit there because this is my grandfather. This is my great-great-grandfather's property. Well, it's a different economy now.
Yeah, or you may not know of any liens that may be on it.
Yeah, well, you find out about that. You'll find out.
A lot of times, and we had this conversation, we don't think about after we're gone.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to leave no bills. I don't want to leave no decisions to someone behind me. That's the purpose of a will. But you see celebrities, people who can afford an attorney. I think Aretha Franklin passed without a will.
Yeah.
Prince passed without a will.
Yeah.
People you would just know, like, they got all their ducks in a row. So us as everyday people, I've seen too many funerals where the family is fighting over money. Well, no, mama would have wanted me to have this. No, Big Mom would have wanted this. Why don't Big Mom, while Big Mama is here, put down on paper what she wants? Therefore, it's right there on paper.
Let me ask you this, Velveeta, do you think it's possibly because people feel if I make a will, I'm acknowledging my mortality? Do you think that's it?
For a while, I would say people that were in their 65 to 75 year age, that must have been what they were told, because for about 2 years, everybody in that age frame that I talked to would tell me, Velveeta, I'm not going to do my will because if I do my will, I'll die.
But we're all going to die.
Exactly. So let me, one lady
you cannot
at church,
get out of this life alive.
One lady at church, this is her and her husband. This is their second marriage. He has children. She has children. His children don't like her. We already know that. It's a fact. So why not do the will and say what you want to happen? I'm seeing this more and more from second marriages where the children don't like the new spouse and they make it verbal. So now what I tell you to do in your will is to say, if this is our home and when I pass, my spouse has the right to live here until they die. Because I see too many times the spouse, the person passes, and the children before the funeral is over has the moving truck up to the house. You out of here. And it's like, where is the respect for what they did do to your parent? You know, even if you couldn't be there, they respected and was there with your parent, ups and downs, so for no other reason they should be entitled to that. But this entitlement society that we live in, everybody is me. And so you have to have that conversation. I know of a couple right now. He's in his 90s, she's 80. His son, to show you how much he doesn't like her, he got sick, was in the hospital, they put him in rehab. The son went to the rehab and changed the power of attorney so that she's at home, there's a knock at the door, she opens the door, and there stands her husband. Well, how did you get here? Why wouldn't they call me? He said they called the power of attorney.
That's another legal thing now, having a power of attorney.
Exactly. If I'm your wife, I'm your power of attorney.
Right.
She goes back to the rehab, and they show her the paperwork where the son has went and got power of attorney over his dad. Now, how crazy is that when you don't live with them? So if something happens at home, you mean the paramedics are going to come, they're going to ask for the power of attorney. Then we got to call you to see if we're going to do CPR. So we just get into this entitlement. I want to make decisions. But what's the best decision for that person?
Great examples.
It's again, it goes back to our society because people today are very selfish. They're about themselves. And not everybody's like that, but there are far too many people that are about themselves and they're looking to get something for nothing. anytime they think there's quick riches, quick wealth, their sense of...
Or the idea of quick wealth.
Yeah, the idea of it.
I want this property. Now you got it now. Oh, it's liens on it. It's things growing on it wrong.
Yeah.
Now you got to take it. You wanted it, though.
Now you got it.
Yeah.
And so, again, this shows a very powerful example of why it's important to have good, excellent, and accessible legal representation. Now, talk about retainer fees versus Legal Shield.
Well, Legal Shield, the law firm, covers everything.
Yeah.
The membership does not. But for those once in the blue moon things that happen, DUI, DWI, kidnapping, kid slapping, whatever you're into, you will get an attorney, and that attorney will give you a 25% discount.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. What did you just say?
Say that. Just say that one more time.
So for those once in the blue moon things that happen, DUI, DWI, kidnapping, or kid slapping, whatever you're into.
She just made my whole day with it. Because she said a lot. She was like, bam. Go ahead, girl.
You'll be given an attorney, and that attorney will give you a 25% discount off of his hourly rate, because we don't believe that our members should pay 100% for legal fees. And that 25% discount is huge, because you can go pick up a phone right now, call a lawyer and say, hey, I want a 25% discount. And after they get through laughing at you, they're going to hang up, because they just don't give discounts.
Yeah.
So is there retainer fee required if you in one of those
situations?
Odd situations.
Kid slapping, child.
This is if they get you for kid slapping.
That's hilarious.
Is a retainer fee required for that attorney if you get that attorney through Legal Shield?
It depends on what it is.
Okay.
A lot of times it depends on if it's contestable or not. I run into a lot of fathers that say, I want my child. I want custody of my child.
Okay.
I want visitation.
Okay.
So depending on how hard they're going to have to fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
It changes.
But it still gives you a warehouse of resources at a phone call.
Yes.
You don't have to ask your friends for recommendations. You don't have to go through Google trying to figure out who is whatever. You have a large group of people, and it's not just Illinois. Where are you?
We're in every state in the United States.
Yes.
And as members, you have access to a law firm in every state in the United States.
So you were on your trip. Say something happened in Vegas, you got somebody there.
And the reason we do that is because each state's laws are different.
Okay.
So if we live in Illinois, but if we go to Vegas and something happens in Vegas, we can't call back here to Illinois and say, hey, what's the law?
Help you.
They don't know it.
Right.
So we would have access to a law firm in Vegas. And that's the beauty of this.
So is that the continental United States? Would that include Hawaii, Alaska and Hawaii?
Alaska and Hawaii, all of Canada, and pretty soon the United Kingdom. We're opening them up.
So including Canada?
Yeah, all of Canada.
Wow.
We were
all
in 4 provinces, but last year we opened all of Canada up.
Wow.
So the growth means that you're doing it's something that's needed.
It's needed.
People are waking up.
We did a study, and it shows that 6 out of 10 Americans need legal assistance.
Yeah, I can think of a few back in the day that I could have. God, I wish I could have been able to pick up a phone.
A few scenarios.
Ooh, honey, yes, Lord.
Yeah,
but I want to talk a little bit about Velveeta, like her, the person.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, we know you have a passion for Legal Shield and helping families, but you are also into network marketing. You got you a book coming out, girl.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about your book.
So, having lost my parents both at an early age and a husband.
When you say early, what is that?
I lost both my parents before I was 30.
Wow. Okay.
I lost my husband when he was 40.
Wow.
So I had to push through a lot of life stuff on my own.
Okay.
And one of my gifts is being able to discern where people are at.
Okay.
And there are a lot of stuck people in today's society.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of it comes from sitting in front of the TV, believing what's on TV is real, and it's not.
It's not.
Having fake friends.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother segment, babe. We need. Okay.
But just not having reality around you or forcing yourself to deal with your reality. And so God just placed it on my heart to talk about different segments of my life that I got scared.
Okay.
Just like broke down, like, okay, Lord, I'm not moving anymore.
Yeah.
And he said, oh no, you're going to make a right here, you're going to make a left here, you're going to go straight, you're going to talk to this person, you're going to close this door, you're going to open this door.
Yes.
And so wanted to share with people about different life issues, how to deal what to do when you lose a spouse, what to do when your parents are not there, what to do when you have a chronically ill child, which was one of the reasons that I left the post office.
Been there.
I worked there for 20 years, but love what I did. But the last 5 years of my life, 5 years there, my middle son at the age of 16 was diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
This was 2 years after losing my husband. Wow. And so there's nobody, no parents, no spouse, there's nobody. And so the first year it went pretty okay. The second year it came back very fiercely. And there was a point where I couldn't work for a year. It was a 5-year process, couldn't work for a year. Came back to work after that year and had a male supervisor tell me, look at here, we need you at work every day. Okay, well, I'm doing the best that I can.
They don't care about that.
Well, that ain't good enough.
They don't care.
I'm so thankful that God gave me a support system, and I knew he was there because he had been dealing with me, letting me know everybody don't understand your struggle.
Right.
So don't put this pity hat on saying, it shouldn't be happening to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I already knew. So all I told the gentleman was, you know what, I'm not going to apologize that my husband passed because he didn't want to, and that you and your wife are still living. Because one day one of y'all won't.
Right.
I'm not going to apologize because your children and grandchildren are healthy. My kid didn't ask to be sick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't ask for this. This is something we're going through. And God had already showed me, no matter what people say, they get a turn too. So don't get mad. Don't get upset.
That's the key. Don't get mad.
Yeah, don't get
my
mad.
Paige passed when she was 15. And I would have people say, oh, you need to get a babysitter. Okay, I'm not mad at you. I am grateful that you have regular kids.
That's it.
That you can go get Julie down the street to watch. I don't have those. I have 2 special needs kids.
Okay.
So I don't have that. But a lot of people get mad. Well, I can't believe it's not for them to understand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not for them to empathize.
Exactly.
Some people don't have it within them to do that.
Yes.
But that's your story. You tell it and keep it moving. But go ahead.
And so just wanted to share with people how you can get over. You could get over being, a widower at 40.
Sure.
You could get over your child being chronically ill and nobody else is there. You could get over that. You could get past being a victim of domestic violence. And a lot of people,
Which you are one. Yeah.
Which I am one.
Yeah.
And I'm small in stature, but have the biggest mouth you ever want
on,
to
girl.
see.
Come on.
And
Really?
then
No kidding.
working at
I
the
know that. Wow. Thanks for telling us.
Working at the post office, got my PhD in profanity. So I could be a little
Wait,
pissed.
when you said you love what you do, I'm like, oh, I've never heard anybody say they love working at the post office.
I loved it.
Okay.
Yes, because it showed me that I'm a leader.
Yeah.
I was a supervisor, and many times I would have the biggest units or the worst units because they knew I'm going to go in here and take care of you.
Yeah.
And you know
Please.
what? From what I understand about the Postal Service is if you are a leader at the Postal Service, you can lead pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with
Everything.
people that are kind of different.
Different
more,
walks of
and
life.
more difficult.
Yeah.
And so I think what probably happened, I'm listening to your story, and it's fascinating because it looks like God put you in a training boot camp on your job to prepare you for you to help knuckleheaded people to help themselves.
Exactly.
You can help knuckleheads at the post office. You can help knuckleheads anywhere.
You can help knuckleheads anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so that's the book. What's the name of your book?
Pushing past fear to get to finding the best you.
And it's come when do you expect
It'll be out in July.
This year.
This
Come
year,
on.
yes.
We're going to have to have her back on the show.
Yeah, when your book comes out, we got to get you back.
Okay.
So we can talk about your book.
Okay.
So now, because we got so much. Breakfast for CEOs. How did that
Oh,
start?
my God. That's my passion. That's my baby.
Did you see her face?
Yeah.
She was like, ooh.
Do you have a website for that? For Breakfast for CCOs?
I do not.
Yeah.
Legal Shield has different aspects to it. It has the family plan, and then it has the business plan.
Yeah, we got both.
And I started going toward the business plan because I was a business owner. And so I know some of the concerns and legal things that they have going on.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it was just mind blowing that you could make the decision to be a business owner and still be stuck on stupid. What I mean is, you give me your business card and it's so pretty, but I don't see your name, I don't see a phone number, I don't see how to get in contact, but it's pretty. Or you got a website and the website is not moving. Now pull it up and it's just sitting there. Being able to introduce yourself, being able to talk about your product or service, and I'm like, how are y'all in business? So Breakfast for CEOs was started to help business owners have a secure place to come work on them.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. What I realized is that all of us get in our grind. We gonna work on this business. We gonna fix it up. We gonna pretty it up. But not many of us will pick up a book to read how to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And so I kind of forced them to get to the next level. Now, the interesting thing about it was that they were getting the information, but they weren't implementing it. And so I took a look at it and was like, hold up, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to the next level, because when I become a millionaire, I don't want to have to guess who my friends are. I'm going to be done brought them along.
Yeah.
And so I went and started creating resource fairs every quarter to force them to implement what you learned.
Wow.
And so now your business is getting better, because not only are you doing reading, not only are you listening to better stuff, you're talking to people, you have a mastermind. Now you're actually going out implementing what you were learning. And now once you do it with me, you feel more comfortable doing it by yourself.
Wow. And this is your baby.
This is my baby.
So basically what you've done is you've created a gym for businesses.
Yes.
Where they can work their business muscles and grow and get bigger and stronger to expand, because every business is organic. It's either growing or it's atrophying. It's shrinking. So what I'm hearing you say is the organization and the movement or the idea, the course that you've created for these people who join what you're doing, you're putting them in a crucible where you have to do this. It's kind of like a trainer.
It is.
You signed up.
Right.
It's actually harder though, because
Sure
that's
it is.
mental work. You got to step out
It
of
is
your
harder.
comfort
It
zone. You got. I mean, working out gym, you lift this,
Right.
pull that, push that. How do we find out about that? How do people?
Breakfast for CEOs is on Eventbrite. It's held every third Wednesday of the month from 7:30 to 9 in the morning. You just go on the website. Go on Eventbrite and sign up for it and attend.
Okay, so can someone who says, I'm thinking about having my own business, I'm not a CEO yet, can they attend?
Anybody can attend.
So could they Google Breakfast
Go
for
into
CEOs?
Eventbrite.
They can
And
Google it.
it'll probably take them to Eventbrite?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Breakfast for CEOs is
Breakfast, the number 4.
Right.
Breakfast,
and CEOs.
the number 4
Yeah.
CEO.
CEOs. Okay, that's good to push that, because a lot of times people, Eventbrite, what's that?
Right.
Because a lot of people don't go on Facebook.
That's true.
Right.
That's
They
true.
don't know about Eventbrite.
So
They don't.
Google it.
So if they just go to Google,
Yeah.
if you don't know how to go to Google, then you not ready to own no business. You just not in 2020. You're
Right.
not. You need to learn Google, and then when you learn Google,
Ask somebody. Ask the young people.
ask your kid.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask your
Exactly.
5-year-old. He'll tell you.
Yes.
Hey, how you do it?
Yes.
So we're running
Yes.
low on time, as always.
Wow.
But you're a motivational speaker as well. What do
Exactly.
you speak on, and who do you speak to?
I have, again, business owners, because realizing that there are different aspects. Prior to the Postal Service, I was an executive secretary. So I'm very,
Been there, girl.
very time conscious, very Pacific,
Yeah.
and I realized that a lot of people don't have that. Not just business owners, a lot of people in life. That's why I was freaking out on the way here, like, oh my God, I can't be late.
I'm the same way about time. Like,
Time is money.
Yeah.
And
It
so
is.
I respect anybody's time, but I talk about different things like five tips on how to grow your business, be on time, be prepared, understand your competition. And I'm always amazed when I sit down with a business owner that says, I don't have any competition.
Yes, you do,
Yes,
sweetie.
you do.
Yeah.
We all have competition. And just be yourself. We also talk about life assessments, finding out where you're at right now. It's
Okay.
one thing to say, I'm a sociable person, and then when I say, well, show me your friends, and you got Dog and Hank the body slammer, which, boo, them not friends.
Yeah.
Them associates.
Yeah,
Where are
those
your
people you
friends?
know.
Where's your girlfriend that you could get a bottle of wine, sit down, and y'all kick it, and y'all go in, go
Yeah.
at it. Well, I don't have any.
and knowing
That's
your
what you-
business is not going to go out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's, a lot of people don't understand what it means to be friendly anymore. So they don't have friends.
Yeah.
And when I like to break it down, come on, let's break this down. That's not your friend. You tell her something, and then it's all around the club. That's not your friend.
You know
She
what?
tough.
Let me tell you
I
what.
like that.
Let me tell you what I just heard you say. What you just said is scriptural. People won't hear it. That's why I'm bringing this out. And I'm a believer that anything that is scripturally based, even though it don't sound religious, but it's based on scripture, that thing has iron in it. And you can't bend it, you can't break it. And what you just said about that person's not your friend, there's a scripture that says, and laying aside the weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, let us run with patience the race that's set before us. What Apostle Paul meant when he wrote that was, people think laying aside the weight and the sin, people automatically think religiously. They think in terms of some type of sin in their lives, or they doing drugs, or they doing this, or they doing something negative, or doing harm to somebody. That's not what it's talking about. Only when it says the weight. A weight is something that stops you from running at your maximum pace, and it exhausts you. It slows you down, and when you lose your energy, what do? You stop. You become stagnant. Anything that's stagnant is dying. If your blood becomes stagnant in your body, you're going to die. If your heart becomes stagnant, you're going to die. If your breath becomes stagnant, you're going to die. If you stop growing and moving forward in your business is going to die. So you have to get rid of those weights, which are usually people. It can be a mindset.
It can even be family.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Most of the time, a lot of times it's family.
Yeah.
I mean, you do it with love, but you have to lay aside. It didn't say kick them. It didn't say destroy. Just push it over here and get it out of your pathway.
I got a few of those family members.
So what you were saying is powerful about that's not your friend. Get rid of that.
Yeah.
Because as they say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
So good.
That's that.
So you can also be found on Facebook, LinkedIn, and we said your number, but she has so much. So you talk about Money Smart. You've been a Money Smart Week presenter, and you talk about the different types of identity theft.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't
talk about
knowledgeable
that.
about. We got a few minutes. We got 30 seconds, girl.
Hit that identity theft thing.
So identity theft is no longer about money. It's about thieves stealing your identity, period. The top identity theft is income tax, which is the season that we're all in. You work all year, get your W-2, go meet with your tax preparer, only to find out before you walk out that door that somebody has stolen it. What do you do?
Whoa.
Legal Shield.
Legal Shield. The scariest one, though, is medical identity. Think about your medical card. Does it have your picture on it?
No.
Nope.
So I could literally take your medical card, go find a bum doctor, and a bum doctor is a doctor that'll do whatever I pay him to do.
Yeah.
I could get that tummy tuck I've been wanting. I look really, really good, but I just changed your medical record.
Yeah.
I'm AB positive. You're AB negative.
Ooh.
I'm an insulin taking diabetic. God forbid you fall out somewhere, get taken to the
Pump
hospital.
insulin and you don't need it.
You can't tell them your medicine. You can't tell them your blood type. You can't tell them anything. They're going to open your folder with my information, give you the wrong blood, the wrong medication, possibly killing you. And we hear about it all the time. Oh, they were so healthy. They ran 5 blocks. They climbed Mount Everest. They biked. They this, they that. Got a cold, went to the emergency room, and didn't make it out of there. And because families don't know to ask for the medical records to see exactly what had been done that last time, they're getting away with it. But it's happening every single day.
Well, listen, our time is about up.
Yeah.
We have so enjoyed having you as our guest. We got to have you back.
Lots of information. Yeah.
Listen, until next time, I'm James Carpenter Barnes, and I'm here with...
I'm Wendy B.
We thank you for joining us on JW Fusion. See you next time.
Everyone.
Thanks for listening to JW Fusion with your hosts, James and Wendy B.